Hello everyone and welcome to our race at Knoxville. I'm just going to switch the camera real quick. Stay on someone consistent. I apologize, probably was bouncing around. But we are kind of nearing towards the end of the season. Apologize, wasn't here last week. But this is race number 8 out of 10. So definitely nearing it down. And point standings, decently close. Kyle Carpenter is still with the lead. Ryan Stenhoff guy watching out in second. Oh, that thing's old. Okay. Yep, Kyle Carpenter is still leading. Nick Gold ended up going to second with his win last week, and we'll interview him after today's race. Brian Stenhoff in third. How about Harry Lamarck and Jason Lance? Both those two are tied for fourth. Personally, I believe Kyle, Nick, and Ryan have a chance at it. Nick and Ryan need to have a really good race here in order to knock off Kyle from his top spot. Definitely doable still. It's tough, and you're seeing right now 74 heading into the pits. We will take a look. Who else is on track? I think Michael Bovair is on track. And we'll have some heat racing too. I did put that in the chat. 10 lap heat race, then 75. There you are. Oh, that's a good scheme. I like that. I don't know if you found that in Trading Pains, but if you did, that's very unique too. He's had a lot of good schemes throughout the season. Getting into the wall a little bit there. Looks like he is ending his run in 9th though. I think that was his last lap, which is good because that's when he spun it. Seeing currently, Chris Chavez Essery, the Chavez brothers on pole, followed by Kyle Carpenter in second. Kyle's good at every track. Third is Nick Gold. That'll be interesting, and it's going to send them up for a heat race right now, 10 laps. When the grid, I will go through that. I'm not sure where place in, whether it's every other. There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay, so on pole is the number 12 of Chris Chavez Essery. On his outside, the number 77, Kyle Carpenter behind him, the number 3. I think it took the top half and then the bottom half. Nick Gold. And 4 is the number 36 of Nick Gage. I'm sorry, Gage Bookman. And then in the number 5th position, it's not the 101. Oh, is the number 5, Jordan Twynham. 6, 101, Philip Chavez. I've got to make it a little bigger so I can see everybody. Followed by the 7, Edward Gibson. The 74, Ryan Stenhoff. I thought Ryan qualified. Oh, I guess Ryan has some work to do. That's not good. Being a dirt track in the 9th, Michael Bovair. Oh, actually, do we only have 9 people here? So we only might have 1 heat then. Dang, that's unfortunate. We had so many of Michael at Watkins Glen. And that kind of has died down for dirt. But right now, this heat will determine the starting positions for the main event. I don't think he's in Burnett. He didn't mention anything of the sort, and we'll see shortly. Base truck, no lights on, and we'll get going green very shortly here. Chris Chavez, currently our guy on dirt. I'll be honest, I didn't catch much of practice. I thought there was more people than that, but we'll see after this 10-lap main event.
Green.
Alright, Chavez brings it away. You can see everybody fanning out back there. The 101 going very high. Don't know if that was intended or not, but he's kind of going back a little bit. Dirt racing, very difficult, so car counts be a little lower. Doesn't shock me at all. Hopefully they'll get back up for the next race here. Some short track racing once again. But Chavez doing a good job. You can see the 77 barely under him. I'm not overly familiar with dirt either, so please bear with me. You can see Carpenter being very disciplined on the bottom. And right now is a good opportunity to learn your competitors too, because you're going to be racing in the main event in a little bit. 12 into the wall. Kyle not really able to take advantage of that. He's still maintaining there. Might have to pull a slide job to get it done, but we're in lap number 4 out of 10. So far, so good. I can hear a few people get into the wall, and these guys are pulling away. You can see Kyle trying to get it done on the inside, but the 12 with the momentum on the top side, able to pull away. And these guys are pulling very far away from the field. You can see Nick Gold and Jordan Twynham back there. And we'll take a look, see what else is going through the field. This is the closest battle at the moment. Everybody else is kind of far back. Looks like Chavez had some issues. He's back there by himself at the moment. Else close? Not really. I'm going to take a look back at Twynham. See battle right now. Twynham in 3rd and Gold in 4th. Four laps to go in the heat. See some people having one heck of a time on dirt. Back end's going all over the place. I know that'd be me as compared to Chavez coming the frame back to him because we are 2 laps to go at this point. Very disciplined. Looks like he's very smooth through the turns. And Kyle Carpenter has just been good about every track so far. He's good at the road course. He's doing good here. And he has led standings for every single race, so definitely one tough competitor. And there we go. Checker flag came out. Chris Chavez, Essery gonna take it home. Followed by Kyle Carpenter, Jordan Twynham, Nick Gold, Gage Bookman, Edward Gibson, Ryan Stenhoff, Michael Bover, and Philip Chavez. A little change going there in the mid pack. And yeah, we have 9 guys. So for the feature, this will be it. We'll see what we can make do with 75 laps here. Air caution free for the heat. And your order is exactly how I mentioned it ended. I will do a TV. Let's go 3. We'll take a look throughout the. Just a very quick run through. We'll see if anybody has something for Chris Chavez. Very disciplined so far. Kyle Carpenter wasn't far off, but those two were the class of the field. I believe, we're going to see something very similar. Yeah, I'm not sure what the car counts were last week. It is also normal for leaks to kind of, it dwindles throughout the season. I was shocked, to be honest. Tracks like Watkins Glen usually dwindles quite a bit and then picks up later on, but we'll see after next week. When we get back to a short track, maybe it's just because it's dirt, it's different. We'll typically like the short tracks, the intermediates, for people that join this. Or a lot of people were busy. One person in the Discord did apologize. He said they had to dip last minute because of her girlfriend. Shame, shame. Boys before you know the fan, so I don't get banned on YouTube. Or bros before blank. Anyways, take truck down to the safety pit road and we'll get going very shortly. Gage all over the back of the 5 already. But the 5 did leave a decent sized gap. See right now, side by side, and turns 1 and 2. Kyle Carpenter trying to take advantage. Right now, he has a preferred lane. Kyle, we'll see if he can take advantage of that before Chavez gets through. And I believe passing here is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And I'm also seeing in the back, Gage Bookman kind of falling back. And yep, Chavez managed to clear Carpenter. We'll see if Carpenter can try anything different. He tried the inside in the heat. Right now he's looking towards the outside. And also the track is going to wear more as it goes on. A little different driving style. But I can't use up all my content because we have 75 laps here and we're only at lap number 3. But Nick Gold up to 3rd place. Duran Twynham fell back only 1 spot, so we'll see if Nick, he was pretty quick in practice. He was kind of held up in the 5 in the heat, but we'll see what work he can get done. His target right now is at 77, trying to make up ground in the championship. He's on fire this last half of the season, so, and the only guy with 2 wins. Alright, this I think is the closest battle on track right now between the 7 and 74. And Stenhoff looking to the inside of Gibson. Gibson very high. And you can see the rear end of these trucks is dancing significantly. And don't worry, I also am taking a look at the gap between the leader right now. It is staying pretty constant. Exactly the same it was in the heat. And whoa, Ryan was going really high. Don't know if that was intentional. Try and see if he can get anything out of it. He did lose a little ground because of it. I haven't seen anyone yet try to do a slide job. That's definitely a possibility. And he gained his ground back on the number 7. It looks really hard to pass, to be honest. At one point in practice, I saw Gage was top of the leaderboard. So I don't know what's going on there. Because right now he is back in 7th. We have Philip Chavez and Michael Bovair at the tail end. Oh, a little bump to the 7. Especially dirt racing, it's rubbing. But he does make the pass. And Ryan Steinhoff trying to catch up, see what he can do to get to Kyle. He is 4 seconds off of the lead at the moment. Actually, it's 4 seconds off of Kyle at the moment. 4.7 off of the lead. But now that he's through, a little love tap to the wall. We'll see what ground he can make up. Jordan Twynham also in a close battle with Nick Gold. And with these two being side by side, I'm sure Ryan's going to catch up a lot of ground. But Nick able to use that top side with that extra momentum to defend, but the 5 sends it in pretty deep. Not able to get the job done, but they're going to exit side by side. Yep, you can see the momentum. Number 3 pulls ahead quite a bit, very high in the turn. Also for the 3. And as the race goes on, these guys are going to be going higher and higher and higher towards that wall to get that extra grip, because down low it's going to be very slick. And Nick doing whatever he can to keep Jordan Twynham back. And so far he is successful. Jordan Twynham diving it super far on the inside. Not able to get close to clearing the 3. Oh, side by side, but manages to keep off of him, or he would have doored him into the wall. That would have been good. And the 5's going to send it again. He gained so much ground last time by doing that. One time he might clear the 3. And not able to quite yet. He is able to make more ground, though, by a little bit. And I think Twynham's clearing right now. He's going to shut the door on the 3, and he's completed the pass. Diving in super deep into the turn. Nick Gold has to fall back to 4th. Oh, Nick Gold he sent in the turn and he ate the wall. Alright, now that pass has been completed, I'm also seeing we have Gage Bookman in a battle, it's telling me. Yep, battling the number 7. Leaning on the 7 there, but exiting almost side by side. He's just gonna have to. Oh, he got on the berm a little bit. He's gonna have to send it, and he does. The 7 also got loose, which definitely helped complete the pass. A little quicker than some of these other guys, what they have been doing. And I'm seeing the preferred line is kind of towards just the edge of where that dark spot is. Right now, I'm gonna go back to looking at Chris Chavez, see what he's doing. You can see I'm going to try a different camera angle, a little variety in here. Oh, that's really close up. I don't know if I like that. Actually, I do like that, but that is close up. And they are looking to lap Beauvais at the moment. Ah, that's interesting. He's running a very low line. I know dirt racing is really hard to get out of the way. I can see Michael trying to stay as low as he can, bouncing that truck on the berm, and he did a good job there. Making sure he stayed out of the way of the leaders. To be honest, I accidentally wrecked the leader on dirt racing just because it slid when I didn't want it to. So I know that is very hard to do here. The truck is on the very edge of control the entire time. But I don't think anyone's going to have anything for Chavez because Carpenter, I said he's ever so slowly falling back, but Carpenter did gain a 10th that lap. And especially trying to pass someone like Chavez, someone very disciplined, not making any mistakes. I hopefully didn't jinx him. Did get on the berm a little bit there, but he's still in good shape. They're just starting lap 25, being a third done of this race. So far, really green. We also have 9 guys in the race. Still, all 9 people are here. But when you do have lower car counts, you know, cleaner racing, and they do get spaced out, unfortunately. This is our closest battle on track. The second, actually, Philip Chavez showed me he's in a battle right now with Edward Gibson. Unfortunately, Gibson's not having a good night at all. He did great in the heat, you know, finishing at 5th era. But ever since then, he has fallen back. Right now, he will, after this pass, he would be the last car in the lead lap. That time, he had a good run to defend. Alright, and I believe Gage Bookman is in the battle too, so I'll keep an eye on this. If the numbers do get closer, I believe Gibson is doing a good job being very disciplined in that top side. Running higher than everybody else, but that gives him a little momentum. Oh, he's in the wall. Okay, never mind. This just became closest battle. Right now, side by side. A little rub in there on the fender. And Chavez has completed the pass. Gonna move the camera up a spot to take a look at what's going on with Gage. Oh yeah, Gage is in a battle with Ryan. Ryan did pass Gage earlier, now it's back. And Michael keeping down low. Definitely not on the gas as much as he was, staying out of the way of everybody. And I wonder if that's why Gage got close to Ryan, is because of the 74 trying to get around the 84. Last week we were at Atlanta. I'm not sure how many cautions we had that race. I'll have to ask. You know, some pretty generic questions and see what information we can get from Nick at the end of this. But Nick did win that race. And he took over the second spot in the standings. Third guy, Ryan Stenhoff, that 74 guy right in front of Gage. He's having a decent night. Like 5th by any means isn't bad, but his competition, Kyle Carpenter and Nick Gold, are both ahead of him. With, after this, 2 races left. And we have 2 short tracks, so I'm not sure who's going to be in favor of those tracks, but Kyle's been fantastic everywhere. We have North Wilkes-Barre and Richmond. Both short tracks on April 20th, which is next Saturday. And then April 27th at Richmond. I'd have to look. I'll have to see if I can make both of those. Because my personal rear racing is coming up. Alright. This battle, the gap did open up a little bit between Gage and Ryan. Yeah, I guess I'll move the camera back up to the number 12. And it doesn't look like anything changed between Chris and Kyle. They both have been running fantastic laps. Kyle did have a little bobble there. It's interesting that they're running the low side. I thought they'd be running the top side. But I am not a dirt guy by any means, and I will not claim to be. Kyle is falling off a little bit just since I moved the camera on him. But they've been, increasing the gap, decreasing the gap a little bit. So I'm sure Kyle will finally get back in the picture. But as for completing the pass, I don't see that happening. The 12 has been absolutely stellar from the open of the gate in practice. And I think the only way we'd see a caution if someone were to loop it. It's possible. Oh, Kyle to the inside right now, the 12. Did not see this coming. Kyle trying to give a challenge for the lead. Chavez trying to defend on the top side, able to clear that again, but the 12 very high, the 12 into the wall. Opens door for the 77 once again, but he is able to stay ahead of him for now. That was interesting. I was getting close there. A little closer comfort for the 12. And they are approaching Michael Volvera again. I'm sure Michael's going to stay out of the way. He did the first time. I'm sure he's going to the second time. But I don't know if that's going to influence anything at all. And no, in the middle of the backstretch, she goes down to the bottom. Sends it very high. He's not going to hit the wall, though. That was a lot of speed coming out of that turn for the 12. And we are 5 laps away from the 2/3 mark. These trucks are guaranteed to be good to the end on tires and fuel. Well, maybe not tires, but you can't change your tires. They weren't given any sets of tires. I don't really think it makes a difference here.
The yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag is out. Oh my gosh, who looped it? I was not expecting to see that coming. We've been green for 46 laps plus the heat. I think someone looped it. We're going to find out. No one's going to be pitting though. Oh, Reno's not in the race. I just realized that because in the chat he said that Reno guy DQ'd me. Oh, okay. So we would have had at least 10 for Reno. Oh, Michael did spin. I know Michael's been kind of racing by himself the entire day. So what happened with Michael? So far, so good. Oh, into the turn, overcooked it. 180. Oh, and moved by the. Oh my gosh! Did the 5 get into the wall? Did the 5 get into the wall? Yup, he did. Okay. I don't care about being realistic, so I'm just gonna move it back to look at him. So 84 spun. He parked it to try and let people avoid, but dirt. He couldn't change his direction, and into the wall. I don't think really any damage to the. I just heard a noise to the 84. All right. Actually, that noise is him going to the pits. Oh yeah. The only thing is he just did a tow to the pits after that. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if they can call it Mike or Michael. But it looks like you've had fun other races, I'll put it that way. Pace truck down the safety pit row. The 12 goes
Green flag.
really well. The 5 a little loose. And Kyle's going to have to see if he can reel him in. Right now, Nick Gold to the outside of the 5. We'll see if Nick can use that to his advantage to get by Twynham. And the 84 is in the pits. So right now, Gold to the outside of Kyle Carpenter, who has been stuck on the inside. Not what Kyle wants. I'm sure Kyle wants to be battling the 12, not the 3. But this is fantastic for Nick. Right now, these guys are side by side. Just ended lap number 51. Kyle looks really loose on the bottom. We'll see if Nick is going to clear him. And Nick is going to be the new person in second. Can he maintain it, though? Oh, this will be interesting. We do have quite a ways left. And Nick is going to take over second. Kyle's not done. Kyle's going to send it on the bottom. Not really able to make up that ground. And well, I don't know where the speed came from. Nick, he's doing fantastic right now on the back of the 12. And with Kyle still side by side with him. And there we go. Kyle's going to fall back into third. And we'll see. I know Kyle has the speed, but I haven't seen Kyle make any passes. This will be interesting. We'll see what Nick can do with keeping up with the 12. To be blown, I don't think Nick has a long run speed like some of these guys, but on the short run, I think he is definitely the fastest guy out here. And there we go. Kyle trying to see if he can get a run on the top side. He's going to take the momentum to the bottom. And he completes the pass successfully on the 3. Shuts the door, Nick into the wall hard. Just overcooked it a little bit. And Kyle trying to rally back. He got his second spot back. Nick now trying to defend from going back to 4th. But temporarily he had it. We'll see if Nick can rally. This battle right here is really important for Nick, so he can try to reel him in for the championship. Doesn't necessarily need to take the win. The win is great and all, but right here is your battle for the point standings at the moment. And Kyle's been pretty consistent all season long. And then Nick, it seemed really that he kind of took fire the second last half of the season. Right now, these top 4 guys are still within the picture, which is really interesting. Twynham going a little high there. He's going to lose the low ground. Kind of fall out the camera shot a little bit. Kyle Carpenter looking to the inside right now with Chavez. Chavez trying to use that top side to defend side by side, but with that momentum, Chavez able to still hold on to the lead. And Nick Gold back into the picture of things, onto the bumper of Carpenter. Little loose there, and Nick's trying to keep it under control. Hasn't really lost a ton of ground. And Twynham back in the picture too. I couldn't tell if the 12 barely scraped the wall there. But these guys are doing a really good job kind of keeping off of each other. The only contact we really saw was between Gibson and Stenhoff earlier. Actually, Stenhoff fell behind Gage. He and Gage were battling. throughout the race we saw a little bit as well. Oh, battle for the lead right now. 77 to the inside of Chavez. Chavez using that top side with that actual momentum. I believe he's going to pull by. And yeah, but we'll see into this turn what Kyle does to respond. Sends it into the turn. The 12 very smooth on the top side. I believe he's going to pull away. Yup. And Kyle's going to have to settle in behind him. We'll see if Kyle can regroup. He's been having these glimpses. That's definitely shaping up to be a really good finish here. Actually, Gage Bookman I now see is in the picture as well. Top 5. So really sideways. Kyle did a good job keeping off him instead of dooring him there. But Kyle to the inside. If he sends it, maybe he can take over the spot. Someone's getting to the wall heavy back there. And new leader, 77! And he's able to shut the door on Chavez. Chavez is going to send it deep, though, to the inside. He's got to stay off of Carpenter. Oh, we got a new leader. First time of the day. I think first laps anybody else has ran except Chavez. That's by Kyle Carpenter. Coming to life here in the last 10 laps. But don't count out Nick Gold back there. We also got Jordan Twynham a little farther back, and right behind him is Gage Bookman. Gage also doing a good job rallying after this caution. And the 12 slides it, but can't make the pass side by side on the backstretch. But Kyle now is in that position where he can be the one to get the momentum in the turn, and the 12 has to send it. We're not done here yet, though. Side by side, leaning on each other on the exit. And with these two side by side, exactly what Nick Gold would want to see. See if he can gain back in the picture, and who knows if these guys make contact like the 12 in it really deep. And sideways to keep off of Kyle, but he loses a ton of ground because of that right there. To the number 12. He's now half a second back, but we know he does have the speed to get back up there and get around Kyle. I believe it may come to the last lap, but thankfully, there are 6 laps to go mark. Alright, just had to yawn, but Nick Gold got into the wall a little bit. You can see his momentum is hurting, but the 12 is still very smooth, but 6, almost 7/10 back with 5 laps to go here. And I think he made a bobble. Because Nick Gold, it's showing he is in second. Oh my gosh. I did not expect this to happen. Chavez was so dominant early on. He's just falling back at the wrong time. It just allows Kyle to extend the lead. Oh, man. And they get together a little bit. Gage into the wall. And boosting each other up a little bit back there for third. 3 laps to go. Nick Gold in third. We'll see what Chavez can do to recover, but Kyle Carpenter has set sail because of these 3 battling right here. And Kyle Carpenter might sneak in another win. He definitely wasn't the dominant truck, but he's been persistent and relentless. And Chavez able to take over third again. We'll see if he can back up to second, unless a caution were to happen right now, which I don't think so. That would be the only way really to save Chavez. I can see Chavez is sending it now. He's trying it looks like he's driving a little more desperately because he is making a lot more mistakes than he used to. Very controlled early on, and now he's, not as smooth. Unfortunately, I think that cost him a lot of ground and a chance to at least rally back. Checker flag is out. Kyle Carpenter to the line. He's going to take it. Followed by Nick Gold in second, and Chavez. Oh! Okay. I think that might be because Chavez squeezed out Gage early on. I don't know if that was some retaliation, but he almost got a top 3. Followed by Jordan Twine in 5th, Ryan Stenhoff in 6th, Philip Chavez, Edward Gibson, and Michael Bovair. These guys are teammates. They're all top 3 in it as well. And then the 101 also. Some donuts as well. But Kyle Carpenter going to extend the lead out. Nick Gold going to solidify himself in the second. He didn't lose a ton of ground though. But he did lose a little more to the championship picture. Chavez in 3rd, and we're gonna have to talk about what he and Gage happened there. Kyle's gonna be making it to the able to get to the victory lane. Does iRacing allow you to go through the Lucas Oil sign? Or is it, oh, it's just burning it down on the only pavement here. I can't get a good look at him. I'm gonna try and get a view. I think he's trying to make his way to the checker, or to the... Oh, trying to make his way to... Can he go through the fence? We'll see if he can go there. Does iRacing let him? Yes, iRacing does. It lets him. So he's going to park that 77 there. Alright, and I'm going to have to stop it right there for our camera. Alright, we will be interviewing top 3. Gotta wait for them to pop in. It'll be Kyle, Gold, and Chavez. He's just released the point standings. Kyle extended his lead out quite a bit. He was going to be really hard to catch. That followed by Nick Gold, who points behind. Ryan Senhoff of 21 points behind. Hey Chris, Matt in the booth, you copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I know you had a very dominant truck throughout the race, and on that last caution, everybody wanted to see that except you. But how was it from your perspective? You know, very smooth early on, and then kind of seemed to all go downhill after that caution.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to see that caution. I felt good on the first run. I just had to hold off Kyle, and I felt confident if we could have went green. But towards the end there, I thought maybe I'd burned off the tires, the rears, but it was actually the heat. I put too much heat in them, throwing it in there at the last, like 25 laps, and then yeah, it just went. It was just bad from there with the too much heat in the tires.
Gotcha, and everybody else to take advantage. I did see, when you was it Nick and Gage were kind of stacked up there. Was there? Do you think what Gage did was retaliation there at the end, or
I don't know if he did. It's all cool. I didn't have much control of my truck towards the end. Just I had too much heat. Like I would go in and try to ease off the throttle, and it would still come around. So like coming out of the corners was really just there wasn't much I can do. I was going to the wall every time. I definitely didn't mean to make contact with her at the end a lot, but yeah, I'm sure he understands.
okay? Yeah, no. Gage is very level-headed after the facts. I just had to ask, but at least there's no bad blood between you guys. It was incredibly entertaining to watch. But was there anything you thought you could have done differently there? Obviously, you can't control the caution coming out, but
I could have saved the rears, like keeping them cool if I knew how. I'm not really sure how I could have done it. Maybe just run higher a little bit or not throwing it in as hard. But I definitely had Kyle pushing me there, so I not much I probably would have done different. I just didn't need the caution really.
gotcha. Well, I know it does stink, but you did get a top three. Where I was just looking at the points picture, but we're I don't know which Chavez is. But does this help you points at all? Or you kind of just race it for fun at this point.
I'm just racing that fun for this point.
Okay,
Love racing dirt, but yeah, it was a fun race.
gotcha. Well, yeah, it was nice talking to you, and have a good rest of your night.
Nice talking to you too. Thank you.
All right, that was Chris. I don't remember what I said if that was intentional, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'd probably have to ask Gage. I'm kind of curious. But definitely no bad blood and nothing's gonna transpire. So don't get your hopes up. We're gonna talk to Nick next. Hey, Nick, man, booth, you copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, you came in second. I know you were chasing Kyle there. You did fantastic, especially after the caution came out. What was the biggest difference for you? Because after the caution versus before.
Um, Basically trying to rethink my line. I mean, I know the bottom line was definitely slick after a while, so I figured I'd just try to move myself to the middle to top because there's not really much of a high berm here. Yeah, I was basically trying to stay out of that slick stuff, keep the truck as straight as possible. But after those restarts, I must have caught a second wind or something because I just gave her all I had trying to keep up there. I think they burnt off their tires a lot more. So I've seen them wiggling a lot more, getting on the throttle more than I would. But other than that, yeah, it was hell of a race. Even towards the end there, it was pretty tight all the way around, all the way to the end. Uh, Congrats Jerry on the win, and I had to beat Chris the dirt guy.
Yeah, I know Chris is saying he burned out his stuff, so he probably did good job saving there. I know the caution helped everybody except him. But it was yeah, good racing. I I don't know. Was there any other moments? Oh yeah, you're battling with Twynham. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Probably messing it up. For quite a while there.
Yeah, actually, Jordan was giving me a hell of a run for a while there, but I think he was playing it way more patient than I was. I think he was hanging out behind me, just seeing if I would make up the mistake that he could make a run on and stuff like that. I don't think he would. I think we were just hanging out for a while, trying to make our lines, keep the truck straight and stuff, keep ourselves apart. But we had some really good like nose to tail racing, a little bit side by side and stuff like that. Like I don't know how many laps I did side by side beside him, but it was no contact, a lot of room, a lot of fair racing, give and take. Love it. It was awesome.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for your time tonight. And before we let you go, anyone you want to thank for your performance?
Yeah, Jerry for the win and Jerry for pushing me to the win last week. That was beautiful. I gotta thank him again for that.
Yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I do
thanks.
need to talk about what happened last week because I wasn't here.
Oh, just Uh, super speedway stuff, you gotta time it out right and pick who you gotta go with, and hopefully the line doesn't work on the outside. I started on the outside. Um, Usually I get comfortable more on the outside on restarts on super speedways and get more jump that way. So that's what I did. I had 3 restarts, and towards the end we had GWC, and yeah, I took the outside and took the lane that was most dominant, and Jerry brought me home, and pushed me to the win. So I definitely appreciate it for that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it does sound like a eventful race. I just kind of caught the photos there, and then I saw the point standings after. It's like, holy cow, they're getting a ton of ground. But yeah, Kyle, Jerry, I don't know another Kyle. But he did kind of um pull ahead a little more in the point situation. What are your expectations of these final two coming up?
I mean, I'm hoping to beat Jerry at Darlington, but that's also one of his tracks. And then Richmond, well, Richmond's a come and go track. I mean, I'm a Trucks fan, and yeah, you can see how that goes there. Unfortunately, I could lead the whole race and probably screw it up on that last few laps. So that's
Hmm.
I'm hoping to come out with a win at Richmond at least, or at least Darlington. I'm looking to beat Jerry, but I don't know if I could get there at this point. We'll see if we can throw hands all the way to the end of the season.
Wait, darling. Uh, does it? I don't know if the schedule's accurate. Does it change your opinion if I say North Wilkes-Barre instead of Darlington?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What do you think about North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, North Wilkesboro. Yeah, sorry, that is one of Jerry's tracks. I thought we were going down. We already went by. Uh, yeah, no. It is a track that is very, very, very bumpy. It's like second one of the second ones out there is like Hickory. Hickory is just a wild ride. Might as well be on a roller coaster. But basically keeping your tires together, not hitting that wall, and basically trying to keep out the mess and short track luck. You know how it goes.
Sure, check goodness. All right. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see up here towards the end. And I don't know. I just want a close battle for the championship, but at least you guys. I know you guys are always in clean with each other.
Oh yeah, I might give them bumper one day, but he knows it's coming sometime.
Maybe for a championship last lap at Richmond.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the broadcast, and thank y'all for tuning in.
All right, that was Nick. Finished second. Did get a little recap, so definitely a longer interview. The normal about last week. We're gonna talk to Kyle right now. Hey, Kyle, Matt in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got a copy of it.
Okay, one heck of a race there. I know you were stalking the 12 the entire time, and then the caution came out, and you were able to take quite advantage of that. How was it? Leading up to that point, and then afterwards was like a different chapter of the race.
Yeah, Chris is like the dirt guy, one of the dirt guys in the group. He's pretty fast on dirt, and I just seem to be, I guess, decent or whatever in a stock car on dirt, and I didn't expect to be that close to him, and just ran it and was kind of we at the whole pretty much race we had about the same line. Like early on, I couldn't run the top in practice or whatever. I could not run the top for anything. I just didn't feel good up there, whatever. And so I just like I'm just gonna run the bottom and we'll see what happens. And I just followed him and like it was like we were doing the same thing. So all I could do was follow him. And he was a little bit better or a lot better on the throttle off the corner. And then I think I gained a lot on the entries of the corner and it just put us together. We just never could get. He pulled away from me a little bit, and then I guess I figured out a little bit in 3 and 4. And I started driving in a little bit harder and trying to use like the front bumper on the berm to like guide my line. And it brought me back to him, and I was closing in on him on those last laps leading up to the caution. And that was a lot of fun leading up to that point. And then after the caution, Nick started coming up in there and got to my outside and got around me, and now I'm like, oh man, this ain't good because I thought Nick was gonna sneak through there and take the win away from both of us, and I thought our tires were done or whatever, and just stayed in it, and finally got around him, and then caught up to Chris, and I had a run on him, and finally got around him, and I had to once I cleared him into 1 and 2, I had to go to the top to keep him from getting around me. Like I had to make him go to the bottom and try to slide job or whatever. That way I can, try to hold on to the lead. That was my only shot, was to go up to the top there, and figured that out a little bit better too. The bottom got real slick, and just figured out the top, and me and Chris battled there for a little bit. Then he fell off a little bit and was able to sneak away with it right there.
Yeah, it was definitely a good job. Very entertaining to watch. Even though we had 9 guys, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I did wonder if Nick was gonna steal the whole thing, like the second win. And he was really competitive after that point. But before we let you go, though, anyone you want to thank for their performance tonight?
I thank you for the broadcast. I thank Gage for putting this race on, and that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you, and have a good rest of your night.
You too.
All right, that was Kyle, the race winner that we talked to. He did pull away more in the standings, so we'll see. We have 2 more races left. North Wilkesboro being next week, and then the following week would be Richmond, and we'll crown a champion for this season with the comeback of the Outcast Racing League on iRacing. We will see you next week with the same group of people.